Hi there. Speaking on behalf of my co-host Hunter Pence, my name is Daron Sutton. Glad to have you with us on an NAIA-focused edition of Perfect Game College Baseball on Perfect Game TV. Small colleges around the nation. Member schools of 250 plus universities, colleges, or institutions. That's NAIA athletics. Think about this. 77,000 athletes play NAIA sports each and every year, and there are $800 million in athletic scholarships, around that number, doled out to athletes. So making a difference and helping to pay for college in the lives of athletes. That's the focus of this show. A quick reminder, May 26th through June 2nd in Lewiston, Idaho, the NAIA World Series. It's an incredible event in Idaho as someone who participated back in 1990, someone whose team, at that point, Auburn Montgomery, now a D2 team, finished second in the nation. A heartbreaking loss to Lewis Clark. I'll never forget my experiences at the NAIA World Series. We have two great guests on this show. Michael Watson pitches at Southwestern Assemblies of God University in Waxahachie, Texas, and he does so leading the nation in strikeouts. He has had an incredible year. He has evolved. The focus for him at some point very soon is professional baseball. He will join us. And Cole Turney will join us out of Cumberland in Tennessee. Turney had an incredible regular season, one that included 31 home runs. As a matter of fact, when you dive deep into the stat of WAR, and we're now seeing that in college baseball, and you put all levels together, Turney, number one in the nation, all levels, Power 5, NAIA, junior college, D2, D3, the number one offensive player in the nation, Cole Turney. He will join us. Here's the interesting twist on Cole Turney. In 2016, he was a perfect game All-American. With all the great high school players in the land, this is our Super Bowl, the PG All-American Classic. Shoulders, they betrayed him. A myriad of injuries. He played at Arkansas. He played at Houston. He played at San Jac, but he has found a home in Cumberland. He too is looking ahead to professional baseball. We'll shine the spotlight on NAIA athletics and NAIA baseball with two great guests. Again, speaking on behalf of Hunter, I'm Daron. Our college baseball show starts now. It's Perfect Game College Baseball on Perfect Game TV, the NAIA. Here we go. On behalf of Hunter Pence, Daron Sutton welcoming you back to Perfect Game College Baseball and a wonderful chance to reconnect. And our focus, as we said, coming on the air is the NAIA level of baseball. A unique level, certainly, because you can say, yes, it's below Division I and Division II. You might be able to argue that second sentence when you think about the level of baseball, certainly. But it's also a place where athletes of all styles and different ages, too, find themselves. I was able to do so, as I told you in the open, and so has Cole Turney, a perfect game All-American who's had an incredible year. As a matter of fact, I recently stumbled into a website, and I'll share it with you folks at some point. I'll put it out there where you can follow it, that put all college players into one pool, and with a new formula, does WAR, puts athletes together, wins above replacement, all levels, college baseball. This dude's number one in the nation. He probably doesn't know that, but he has had an incredible year. Cole Turney, perfect game All-American, and now at Cumberland at the NAIA level, joining us now in Tennessee. Cole, thanks for spending time with us. We appreciate it.
And it's great getting to talk to you again, and thanks for having me.
31 home runs to end the regular season. And as the show airs, it's our hope that you're journeying deep into the postseason. But a 31 home run year in what is your final year of college, for you, what are some of the things, over the last 1 year, and I want to go deeper than that, but over the last 1 year that led up to a year like this? How did you prepare for this season? What were some things you did? Why is your swing feeling as it does? Kind of take me to the 6 months prior to a 31 home run season, what that looks like.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can really anticipate having a 31 home run season. But I mean, there's so much that goes into it. And really, this was the longest I've been able to play since I was about 17 years old, longest I've been able to stay on the field. But through the years and through, the lessons I've learned, because I'm an old college baseball player. This is the longest I've played in college, as far as how long I'm playing this season. I don't know, I'm like 42 games in, 43. There's so much that goes into it, and my journey's been so crazy. It's hard to explain. I haven't been able to, I've been able to learn a lot, but haven't been able to directly apply it to my game because I haven't been on the field consistently. So this was the first year I really got to, stick it out and learn lessons and, kind of take what I've learned through the years, whether it be only through 50 at bats in a single year, and kind of just piece together these different lessons and put them together.
I won't focus on the body too much because this isn't a medical show, but just give us in a nutshell the areas in which your body's betrayed you. I knew you when you were high school. You worked very, very hard. Where have you had some bad luck physically?
Really, the big one have been my shoulders. Just some freak accidents that ended some seasons, and a couple other places. But really, the big one is it's been the shoulders.
And so now at 24 years old, as you said, you're an older college player. You feel 100% for the first time in a long time, correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Why did you choose Cumberland? You went to Arkansas, you went to Houston, you went to San Jack. You chose Cumberland at the NAIA level, and this year has been an exceptional year. It's your second year there. Why did you choose Cumberland?
It's a great question. I've been asked that question quite a few times, but so when I was going through the process of coming into the NAIA, I had reached out to my coach at San Jack, and he kind of threw some schools my direction, and I made some phone calls and got to know their coaches and the tradition of their programs and their history. And really, after getting to know the guys here at Cumberland, I just fell in love, and it just seemed like a perfect fit for me. And really, at going through the process, for the third time, I was really looking for a good personality fit for who I was, and so far it's been the best decision I've ever made. Meeting some of my greatest friends I want to have for the rest of my life. It's been a perfect fit, and so luckily I made it just made a great decision.
Well, what a wonderful answer, and the wisdom. You have some wisdom now. Not all 24-year-olds have wisdom. You have a little bit of wisdom in your decision making. Describe from your perspective NAIA baseball. As an opposing pitcher, you see opposing pitchers, what you guys deal with it. I can describe it back in the 90s and late 80s, but it's different now. From your perspective, and you've played at every level, you're an All-American. Describe NAIA baseball from your perspective.
That's another great question. It's funny, when I first got here, the way a lot of people describe it to me, they describe it to me as the Wild West. It gets rowdy. The talent, there's talent here. So you can't take anyone lightly. And one thing I really picked up on is it's just a lot of guys who, and this is a popular word in baseball, just really gritty guys. Selfless players, just ball players. You might not have a 30-man roster oozing with talent all the time, but you just got guys that are going to straight up get after it.
A year in which you hit those 31 home runs. Let's talk about your regular season. As a matter of fact, you had a run from April 15th to May 6th in which you homered in 10 of 13 games. Won a game, and it was crazy. You've had a 3-homer game. You've had a 2-homer game. So for you, waking up each morning and going to bed at night, reliving some of those days, what's it been like to have a 31 home run season? I know that's a very general question, but I have a feeling I'll get a deeper answer. What has it been like for you?
For the most part, I try not to think, too far into it because every day is a new day, whether it's going to be good or bad. So I just try to stay focused and, keep my mindset on knowing what I need from this guy across from me, the pitcher, because each day is new. And the way I look at it is you've got to earn it every day. Yesterday really doesn't matter because you got to wake up and do it again, or else it doesn't matter. Because there's a lot of guys who can do it. There's a lot of talent, but I think what's really important is being able to do it every day.
How have you been able to do that? What have you done to hone your swing as repeatable? Probably as patient, because I'm guessing with your numbers, you've got to be a little bit more picky because I'm not pitching to you if I'm on the other side, at least in key moments. How have you been able to develop that repeatable swing that is patient yet aggressive?
Yeah, that was a huge part of the maturing process for me. And it all starts with the mindset, and it's it really comes down to knowing what I need from the pitcher, and it's all about discipline and concentration, obviously. It might sound cliche, but it's really easy to chase pitches out of the zone. A big lesson I learned is, I feel a lot of times at the plate, I'll swing at pitches that, I see well and I think I can hit pretty well. But that's oftentimes not the case. Just because you see a pitch well or just because it's a strike doesn't mean it's worth swinging at. So it's really just trying to control the strike zone. And I know if I can bring that every day, whether my body's feeling good or my swing's feeling good or bad, if I can control that, things will probably go in my favor.
A question I love to ask hitters as a former pitcher myself, because I spent so many times sitting in that dugout eyeing the opposing hitter, trying to learn in days before I'd face them. If I'm eyeing you in that left-handed batter's box and I'm seeing you from spikes all the way up to your helmet, when you're right, what are some of the key moving parts in your swing mechanically?
I think when I'm going right, I'm just really simple. Not trying to get too big or trying to create power. Just trying to get the head of the bat to the ball. Nothing special. I just need to be on time and swing at good pitches and just let my swing do what it needs to do. I'm confident in my swing and, being able to do that every day. It's just, like I said, it comes down to staying disciplined in the strike zone and making this guy come to me instead of me chasing what he wants me to.
So reading a scouting report from a long, long time ago at JetBlue Park at the National Showcase, the scouts then were talking a lot about your hands. You're talking about your quick hands, talking about raw bat speed, but special strength. They went on to add another but special strength in his hands. Describe your hands, describe the trust you have in your hands and how that's been a part of your evolution.
That's something I don't know how to put this. It's definitely part of my skill set, right? It's something I'm grateful to have. Something I was just, kind of born with. So I can't, go on and on about how I'm proud about it because fortunately that was just part of the skill set I was given. So I just try to apply that to my game and, utilize my game, create my game plan around my strengths. But I try not to think too deep into that. You still got to hit the ball. You still got to be a smart hitter. And whatever happens after it hits my barrel, it's just going to happen. So I don't think too deep into it. But I do kind of, create my approach, my game plan around the strengths that I do already have.
Yeah, it's funny. I love learning and listening. And in this seat, this year, 2023, is maybe the luckiest I've felt because, on the same day I'm talking to you, 2 days ago, I'm talking to Jazz Chisholm one-on-one and hearing him talk. Joey Votto in spring training, high school elite players that were once right? That were once in high school wanting to be PG All-Americans. And it is interesting, the concept of identifying your strengths and then trusting them. That's always the hard part. Zach Gallen is someone I talked to the other day, identifying his strength and then trusting that he doesn't throw 96, but trusting everything else. I bet you that trust for you, because you said it in your answer, you went into your hands, you described them, but you're like, it's there, it's a strength, I got to trust it. And I think for you, I'm guessing trust has been a big part of not only your evolution in your physique, in who you are, but also in who you listen to. Has that been something you developed as, okay, I'm going to take this in, I trust that this might help me? In your guidance, those outside of you, has that trust been a big part of it?
Absolutely. And, I think it's kind of, you have to be fortunate to kind of come across someone that you really trust that, that really understands the game. And for me, the biggest lesson I learned as a hitter really was learning my identity. I'm not going to, I think early on I was trying to, just put the bat on the ball. And, these things are great. These things are, the part of the game and they're important. But I'm not going to be, my strength is around my power. And so I need to learn how to hit like a power hitter and think like one, how to work counts, know how these guys are going to pitch me. So it really came down to me learning who I was as a baseball player and as a hitter. And from there, things kind of took off. My whole approach changed and how I approach the game and how everything, my aggression level. But it all started with knowing my identity as a hitter.
Amazing answer. Your journey in 2016, as part of travel baseball, we saw you then with the South Texas Sliders. Heck, I saw you in Jupiter. I think you played with Dustin May, the winter or the fall before. But your journey in travel ball, going to PG National, playing, I'm sure, in other events that weren't PG, and then becoming a PG All-American, as you recollect, that's a ways back now. I understand that. But as part of who you are and the foundation of your baseball, how do you look back on that summer of 2016?
I mean, it was an incredible year. I remember first learning what perfect game was when I was like 14. I saw it was through the All-American game. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. I want to be a part of this. And I kind of learned more about it. And then you get to high school and you start hearing about these, some of the local guys who are ranked. And you're like, hey, I think I can match up with that guy. Where's he at? And that competitive nature kind of comes. You're like, I think I might be better than this guy. So that's how I dove into it. And then it kind of just all went from there. But, what a cool experience. The people I met, whether it was players, coaches, and just everyone, in and around the game of baseball. And it's crazy how, I got to meet you back in, 2016, and here we are today. So it's just cool that, the baseball world is a small world, and it's crazy how, it's all connected. But what a cool summer that was. And all the opportunities that came from that summer was incredible.
Yeah, and you played with good players. You are and were a good player then. It's as you said, a unique journey to have it all connect. And now we have a devoted college baseball show, and it is wonderful to connect with you. The biggest inquiring question, I'm sure those watching these interviews, and specifically you and I talking, is what do the pro prospects look like? To me, the simple-mindedness, I'm going to be real simple-minded. You can't turn your back if you're a pro organization on a dude who 40 of his 68 hits are extra base hits. So what do you know? What have you heard? What do the pro prospects look like after a season that you've had?
Yeah. It's like, I'm hoping for the best. As it's a complicated business that I don't even come close to understanding. So I'm hoping I get that opportunity. I'm not looking too deep into it right now, although, it's something I want to do. But right now I'm just trying to take care of business, and we're still playing. And, we got a lot to play here, a lot to play for here at Cumberland. So I'm focused on that, and hopefully we can keep making a good run and win the last game.
Yeah, it's a fun event. As someone who's played in it in Lewiston, it's an incredible event. I'll never forget it. One of the greatest baseball memories I've ever had. But I'm not reaching if I say that this is what you want to do. I mean, you plan on selling your skills maybe after you get through that. Let's say you guys go to Lewiston, you win it all your champs, you get back. I'm guessing your plans are to begin the job search, correct? And whether it's a draft selection or whether it's signing a contract, it's going to be first and foremost after that, correct?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Yeah, you don't have a season like that and not want to chase it. And I guarantee you there's some great conversations. At 24 years old, I want to congratulate you on sticking to it and what you've accomplished. And thanks for taking the time to have this conversation. It's truly inspirational, my friend. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Cole Turney, ridiculous year. 31 home runs in the regular season heading into postseason. Glad to have you with us on this edition focused on the level of the NAIA baseball player. This is Perfect Game College Baseball. More in a moment. We continue. Perfect Game College Baseball, the journey of the NAIA athlete, close to 300 schools, and just an interesting study. 77,000 athletes playing at the NAIA level, and even scholarships, close to $1 billion in scholarships that athletes take advantage of, $800 million. We just talked with Cole Turney, the nation's leader in home runs, and his story is intriguing, certainly. And now the story of Michael Watson, an athlete who has chosen to go to the NAIA level, a Texan who stayed in Texas, and who has missed bats every single year. And as we head into postseason, the World Series run to Lewiston, Idaho, this is a pitcher as regular season and conference tournaments wrapped, led the nation in strikeouts. And so it's exciting to get to know Michael Watson at the Southwestern Assemblies of God University. That is in Waxahachie, Texas, just south of Dallas. Michael, thanks for spending time with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I think inquiring minds always want to know when you make college choices. You were at Glen Rose, Texas, which again is a little bit more southwest of Fort Worth, so not far from Waxahachie. But you came that time to make your choice, your college choice. Why did you choose where you chose in Waxahachie?
So a big thing for me, I mean, I was like mid 80s at the time, and I wasn't very highly recruited, but we had a pitching coach, Coach Bartosh, at SAGU, and he had a lot of plans to help develop me, and so I decided to go there, and that's exactly what he did.
They did. They did grow. You did develop. But you and I were even talking about your freshman year. You said it was a rough and bumpy year, but you did throw 48. You did strike out 71. So you started down that road of missing bats from freshman year to a year like you had this year. How have you evolved? And you're talking to an old pitcher, so you can be descriptive certainly. But how have you evolved as a pitcher?
So the biggest thing for me was, I mean, one was my control, because I had 48 innings, but I had 41 walks. And then same kind of story my sophomore year, I had a 90 innings, 70 walks. But the biggest thing for me was one, not letting stuff get to me in the moment, and just trusting myself that, hey, I had the stuff to strike somebody out. And when the moment came, not overthrowing, not overdoing it, just trust my stuff, hit my spot, and execute a pitch. And when I did that, good things happened.
So let's dive deeper on those pitches. I don't expect you have a baseball as close by as I do, but let's dive deeper on those pitches. I always like to say it's like Michael and his pitches are coming into a party, and you're going to introduce them one by one. You're not just going to say their name. You're also going to tell me a little bit about each one. So bring them into our pitching party and introduce your pitches one by one.
All right. So first off, I go with two seam. Pretty much only throw for my fastballs. I only throw two seams. Unless I'm trying to execute a high fastball, then I'll switch over to a four just so I don't have that run or the sink on there. And I started just going two seam my sophomore year, because I was more comfortable with the grip, more comfortable with being able to execute the way I like the way it moved better. And so that's my pitch that I'm going to go. And that's where I look to beat people. I mean, it's nothing insane, but at the same time, I think when I layer it up with my other pitches, it does a job really well. Next pitch, probably my best pitch though, is my changeup, and I learned to throw that. I throw a split grip changeup, so I'm right there on the ball, and I've been throwing it like that since I was 11. So since I started pitching. And that's just a pitch that I've been comfortable with. I play using catch play every day, and that's the one that I use. And I'll dive barrels, dive bats with, get ahead with. I'll throw it 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, whatever. Then curveball. So it's a little bit of work. It's on sometimes, off sometimes, but I keep it well enough to do a job no matter what. Days that it's on, I use it to my advantage, get ahead in counts, and attack guys. But really, when it comes down to it, all three pitches, I'm just looking to attack and looking to be able to beat the hitter with any three pitches I have.
In this season, you were an All-American last year, but in this season, your junior year, which part of your pitching attack, maybe either one, has truly evolved the most, where almost as if you're sprinting, if pitching is sprinting, and all of a sudden it joins you right side by side, man, and it's right there with you. Which pitch or part of your pitching attack has evolved the most?
Honestly, I'd say it wasn't even necessarily a singular pitch, but more versatility. So this year, I didn't have to rely on just one pitch to get out of situations. So you can see, like, I had multiple double-digit strikeout games, and those were the games where I had all three pitches clicking for me, and I was just able to execute. But even, early on, there was a lot of times that I was struggling with my changeup, but I was able to just fight and compete with fastball, curveball, and then just show the changeup for something, and just still be able to compete and get through a game. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing that's evolved for me this year, has been just versatility and competing with whatever I had that day.
So really good pickoff move. Describe that. I don't know how many you picked off this year, just diving on your stats. I know you picked off 13 last year. How many did you pick off this year?
I think it was right around 10.
Crazy. So kind of describe your approach as it pertains to I'm sure your catchers love you, because if you pick off runners, you're not just picking them off, you're also keeping them close. So kind of describe your approach with runners on.
So runners on, we do a really good job of like working and knowing how much of a threat the guy is on first. And I mean, definitely what I saw this year more so is like guys aren't getting off nearly as much, but at the same time, I'm still going. I'm kind of slow to home. And so what I have to do to make up for that is I show B moves constantly. From the second somebody gets on base, I'm gonna show a B move, just something. And then, when he starts getting comfortable over there, I bust him with a good move. I try and sell everything like I'm going to the plate for as long as possible. Then at last second, hit that 45 and get it over there. And it's worked out really well for me.
Yeah, boy, your catchers must love you. What are your catchers by name? I'm sure they're as important to you as anybody. So introduce your catchers.
So my catcher from freshman to sophomore and most of this season was Justin De Los Santos. He's a guy. He came in during COVID, and he's a heck of a catcher, extremely good defensively. But towards the end of conference, he broke his hand, he got hit by a bat, and so for the rest of the season from there, it's been Maddox Henderson, which that guy, me and him have been great friends for over a year, and he's helped me grow as a man, as a person, and I just couldn't say enough good things about either one of those guys.
So I want to veer off because something you just said was something I wanted to get into. So you used the sentence and it got me off the baseball off ramp for a moment to talk about growing as a man, because it feels like if you choose a school like SAGU and you choose maybe the NAIA route, that is a part of your decision, whether it's faith-driven combined with growing as a man, a professional. Maybe it's baseball, but maybe it's just a professional out in the world. Talk to me a little bit about how you have grown as a man. If you speak of a catcher helping you grow as a man, how has your school choice, how has your college choice helped you grow?
Man, being at SAGU, obviously we're a Christian school, and we have chapel and stuff like that, and that's definitely helped me grow in my faith. And I think just the type of people that we have at the school are amazing. They're extremely supportive, but they've also helped me grow just like spiritually. They've helped me grow in my faith. And I mean, I was raised Christian and have always had a good faith, but just since I've been to SAGU, my relationship with God has grown leaps and bounds. And at the same time, I think my fruitfulness, like with the game of baseball, has also grown. And then I've also, I mean, just it's helped me grow maturity wise. So like I'd say obviously coming in, I was a little bit immature as a freshman and stuff, but just the people around, especially when I came in with having all like the fifth years returning from COVID and all of that, like older guys helped me grow and mature a lot as a baseball player and just as a person off the field, and also helped me kind of be able to handle myself better with success and, continuing to stay a good teammate and stay, confident, but at the same time humble through what I was, the success that I've had.
What a wonderful answer. The father in me listens to that, and I'm sure your parents are proud to hear you sharing it like that. Your dad is Eric, is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Tell me your mom's name.
D.
Tell me a little bit about both. What were the expectations growing up, and how much do you keep in contact with people that are very important to you?
Oh man, my parents, they were heart and soul, like supported me all the way through. Started when I started pitching when I was 11, they got me in, started doing lessons, and just stayed consistent, supporting me all the way through high school and even through college now. And they're at every home game. But dad's a firefighter, mom's a nurse. And so they support me through it all, work around their schedules to come see me. And I couldn't be more thankful for them. They're awesome.
Very sacrificial jobs during the pandemic, my friend.
I'd say so. They never stopped working.
Wow. I'm going to guess your prayer meter went up for your parents a lot during that time, because out on the front line working hard. Michael, the last 3 years, and I'm doing simple math with what you told me about your freshman year, I see about 345 strikeouts and a ton of success. Is the goal professional baseball?
Yes, sir. That's been the goal. Part of why I came to SAGU was because of Coach Bartosh, some of the connections he had. And, he told me, hey, I want to he's at the time, he's seeing me at 83, 84, but super lanky and really young. And he said, hey, I want to get you there. or I want to help you. I want to help develop you and get you there. And I was all in. So since then, I've been bought in on that process and just enjoying every moment of it.
It's interesting. Do you have the opportunity? I think, I love kind of folks that maybe miss the boat a little bit. I pitched in front of scouts at the NAIA level, and certainly some made the trip after, an outing to see a second look. And it wasn't 30 or 40 scouts, but I definitely pitched in front of scouts. Have you had the opportunity to communicate with any professional organizations at this point?
I've had I have been blessed to have the opportunity to communicate with a couple scouts so far, but I don't know really as to how far it's going. I'm not exactly sure in that whole process, but just still the opportunity knowing that I was being seen was nice. And then obviously I've been played summer ball in the Coastal Plain League last year, going back here in a couple weeks, just to go try and get some more looks, give it a shot there.
And that's fun. That's kind of everybody in the mosh pit, to use an old 80s concert thought. It's all levels. It's JUCO, NAIA, Division I, Power 5. That's what's fun about leagues like that, and I'm sure fun for you, yes?
Yes, of course. I mean, a lot of stuff to learn from guys, and just an amazing opportunity to make connections and really build relationships that are going to last a long time.
Michael, from your perspective, tell me what NAIA baseball looks like. That was one of my goals in setting out to doing this show and talking with Cole, who led the nation in home runs. Now you lead the nation in strikeouts. But give me, through Michael Watson's eyes, what NAIA baseball looks like.
Man, I gotta say, there's not a lot of recognition for how much competition is there now, but I'd say it's extremely competitive, and there's ranges of athletes from like all levels. I think there's definitely some schools that are comparable to low level baseball, but at the same time there's some schools that are just tearing it up and extremely competitive. I mean, especially with the transfer portal, you see a lot of guys all over the place that are kickbacks from Division I schools, and I mean the competition's there, the opportunity to compete's there. It's just how bad you want to get there and play.
Yeah, long before the transfer portal, I raised my hand as a kickback from a Division I school who wasn't quite ready to play out west on the West Coast, and ended up at a small NAIA school in Alabama and loved all 4 years of it. So I appreciate you coming on, sharing a little bit about your family, your faith, as well as I value that too. And I really thank you. Wish you best luck. Have a great summer, my friend, and congratulations on what you've accomplished so far.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
A focus on NAIA baseball. Interesting journey, right? To elite players, two that you will probably hear their names going on to professional baseball, and two players that went a different route. Man, we spend just about every week talking about Power 5 schools and I've enjoyed this week. Want to thank Cole, want to thank Michael, and want to thank you, fans of college baseball. Hunter Pence will be back with us next week. Thanks for spending time with us this week on Perfect Game College Baseball. You're watching Perfect Game TV.